Eamon Gravelheart. The dust motes danced in the afternoon sun, illuminating the workshop with a golden haze. It was a peaceful scene, a tableau of contented routine. I, Eamon Gravelheart, quartz warden of Ethelberg, meticulously polished a time prism, its facets catching the light like 1,000 miniature suns. For 20 years, I'd maintained the city's chronal regulators, ensuring the smooth flow of time, a silent guardian against temporal distortions. My life wasn't glamorous, but it was sufficient. A comfortable rhythm of oiled gears, calibrated crystals, and the quiet satisfaction of a job well done. I rather fancied myself a master of the mundane, and truthfully, I preferred it that way. Disruptions were for younger men. The tranquility shattered with a chime, not the regulated chime of the chronal regulators, but a discordant, fractured peal that sent a shiver down my spine. It emanated from the grand clock tower, the heart of Ethelberg's temporal defenses. I found Master Theron, the tower's keeper, slumped over the central chronometer, his face ashen. The chronometer itself, it wasn't merely malfunctioning. Fragments of other times flickered across its face, glimpses of landscapes I'd never seen, echoes of voices not our own. And in the very center, a growing fissure, like a crack in reality itself. Theron could only whisper, "The echoes, they're not fading, they're converging." My initial investigation revealed a pattern, or rather, the absence of one. The temporal distortions weren't localized. They were rippling outwards from the grand clock tower, affecting seemingly random points in Ethelberg's history. A cobbler suddenly recalling events from a century past. A baker inexplicably crafting pastries from a forgotten era. Each instance was a fleeting anomaly, yet their cumulative effect was profoundly unsettling. I delved into the clock tower's archives, poring over ancient texts and forgotten schematics, searching for any clue, any precedent. But the records were incomplete, fragmented, as if deliberately obscured. The more I learned, the less I understood. It felt as if someone or something was deliberately unraveling the fabric of time itself. Old Man Silas, the city's resident historian, swore he had the answer. He babbled on about a chronal thief, a mythical figure said to steal moments from time, leaving behind ripples of temporal chaos. He presented me with a tattered map, claiming it led to the thief's hidden lair, a forgotten observatory on the outskirts of the city. I spent 3 days searching, enduring rain, mud, and Silas's increasingly frantic pronouncements. The observatory was nothing more than a crumbling ruin, inhabited only by bats and regret. It was a wild goose chase, a distraction fueled by Silas's eccentricities, a frustrating waste of valuable time, I confess. Returning to the clock tower, I discovered the situation had deteriorated dramatically. The fissures in the chronometer had widened, and the temporal distortions were no longer fleeting. Entire sections of Ethelberg were being overwritten by fragments of other eras, Victorian storefronts materializing alongside medieval workshops, futuristic vehicles appearing in cobblestone streets. It wasn't localized chaos anymore. It was a systematic collapse of temporal integrity. Then I discovered the truth, hidden within the clock tower's deepest sublevels. A hidden chamber containing a device of immense power, a chronal amplifier capable of not merely manipulating time, but rewriting it. And it was being actively used. Desperate, I sought out Isolde, a former apprentice of mine, now a renowned chronomancer in her own right. She'd always possessed a knack for understanding the more esoteric aspects of temporal mechanics, things I, with my pragmatic approach, often overlooked. Initially skeptical, Isolde examined my findings and confirmed my worst fears. The amplifier wasn't being used haphazardly. It was being controlled by someone with a profound understanding of chronal energies, someone attempting to fundamentally alter Ethelberg's timeline. She agreed to help, her sharp intellect and unconventional methods offering a glimmer of hope. "Someone wants to remake this city in their own image, Eamon," she said, her eyes narrowed. "And we need to find out who and why." Our investigation led us to Marius Valerius, a disgraced historian obsessed with restoring Ethelberg to its golden age, a fictionalized past he'd constructed from romanticized legends. He'd been secretly acquiring chronal artifacts, building a network of informants, and manipulating events from the shadows. We confronted him in his hidden workshop, a chaotic collection of stolen artifacts and half-finished temporal devices. He wasn't a powerful chronomancer, but he was cunning and resourceful, utilizing a series of temporal traps and illusions to impede our progress. The confrontation wasn't a grand duel, but a tense game of cat and mouse, a test of our wits and reflexes. I must admit, a perfectly calibrated time-slow field proved surprisingly effective. Valerius, cornered, revealed his ultimate goal: to activate the chronal amplifier and rewrite Ethelberg's history, erasing what he considered its imperfections and replacing them with his idealized vision. We reached the amplifier just as he was preparing the final activation sequence. A desperate struggle ensued, a clash of chronal energies that threatened to tear the very fabric of time apart. Isolde, utilizing her unorthodox techniques, managed to disrupt the amplifier's energy flow, creating a window of opportunity. I, drawing upon decades of experience, recalibrated the amplifier's core matrix, reversing the rewrite process and stabilizing the timeline. It was a harrowing experience, pushing my skills and endurance to their absolute limits. The amplifier shuddered, then fell silent, the threat averted. The aftermath was complex. The temporal distortions gradually subsided, but the scars remained. Fragments of other eras lingered, subtle reminders of what might have been. Ethelberg wasn't the same, but it wasn't worse. It was simply different. Rebuilding required not just physical repairs, but a collective acceptance of the new reality. I returned to my workshop, but my work had changed. I was no longer merely maintaining the timeline. I was safeguarding it, protecting it from those who would seek to manipulate it. The peace I once knew was gone, replaced by a quiet vigilance. But it was a peace worth defending. And in the gentle tick of the chronal regulators, I found a new sense of purpose, a renewed appreciation for the fragile beauty of time itself.